So then guys, Apple could be revealing their brand new latest products, including the iPhone SE coming out this week. So let's go over this and also cover what new products are we likely going to see before summer 2025. Well, today we're going to go over all the details of what we're going to see in the first half of 2025 from Apple. And first of all, let's talk about an event date. Well, if you're looking for, say, a one-off date where Apple might be launching all their products all together, say in springtime or March time, it might not actually be happening this year. So, very recently, just hot off the press, Mark Gurman has turned around and said the next generation iPhone SE is on its way and could be launching as soon as this week. And also, we could also get new potential other products because stock is dwindling down of, say, like the MacBook Air and other products too. But with saying that, you're probably wondering what kind of devices are we actually going to see? Well, one of the devices that we're going to see is going to be the upgrade to this right here. This here is the iPhone SE 3rd generation, and at last we're going to be getting some big upgrades on the iPhone SE. The new iPhone SE is actually going to be based off a design we had in the past, what is the iPhone 14 normal. We're not going to have it based on, say, an iPhone 13 mini or the iPhone 12 mini. It's going to be the iPhone 14 normal design, and with that we're either going to probably have dynamic island or a notch. We're not too sure at the moment. This is one area that's up in the air at the moment, but one thing that is clear is that on the rear, just like the current iPhone SE at the moment, we're just going to have one camera on the rear of this phone. The other thing to also mention is the big upgrade inside this iPhone is going to be to do with the chip inside of it. It's going to be an A18 normal, so this does mean we're going to get 8 GB of RAM put inside, and also the function of using Apple Intelligence, and of course the upgrade to USB-C at the very bottom of an iPhone SE model. It's going to be really exciting to see. Other things obviously we're going to get with this is a larger screen at 6.1 inches, and battery life is probably going to be very much improved over the predecessor last 2 generations of the iPhone SE. So this is definitely great news to hear, but one thing I would be saying is that Apple most likely are going to probably increase the price maybe a little bit, but I still think it's going to be sub of $500, but don't expect anything like a ProMotion display or anything like that. It's going to be a 60Hz display, but the main big thing is the new design and also the A18, what's going to go inside of it. But one thing to say is we've had this leak in right here from Mark Gurman very recently telling us that the iPhone SE 4 or the iPhone 16e, whatever you want to call it, is actually ready to actually ship out, and that Apple could potentially even get it out, say, next week on February the 11th. Now, personally, we have heard this from Mark Gurman before with the iPad Pro M4, and we had this with the iPad Air M2, where the product was ready, but it didn't actually ship out for like a month later. And this could actually be the same case that we're getting here with the iPhone SE. But, you know, one thing we'll just have to be aware of, that this could actually happen, could come out in February. Now, something else that's also going to get an upgrade in 2025 before summertime, and that is the MacBook Air. We're going to get the introduction of the M4 put inside of it. It's going to be upgraded from the M3. What I'd be saying with this, do not expect to get a brand new design MacBook Air or anything like this. You've got to remember we had the M2 and the M3 MacBook Air. The design hasn't really changed whatsoever over those 2 generations, and most likely the 3rd generation MacBook Air of this sort of same design is going to stay exactly the same. We're not going to get any big changes, no additional kind of ports added or anything like that. So it's just going to be 2 USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports, and also we're going to have a MagSafe connector. But one thing I would be saying is the big upgrade is all to do with the M4 that's going to be put inside of it. There will probably be a version of a binned version, very similar to like what we got inside like the iMac and also say the iPad Pro, you know, if you've got the lower kind of storage configurations on that. So this does mean that you probably get a 9-core CPU and the 10-core GPU, but obviously if you pick for a slightly better spec, pay $100 more, you'll be able to get the full 10-core CPU and also the 10-core GPU. But what I would be saying with that, if you go for the larger 15.6-inch model, you will get that full fat sort of 10-core and 10-core CPU and GPU option automatically, what is great news to hear. But don't expect any kind of uplift in storage, so it probably still will be 256 gigabytes as the standard standard amount, no new displays or anything like that, like mini LED or anything like that, and most likely the pricing is also going to stay exactly the same. But what I would be saying though, because of the efficiencies of the M4, like what we saw in the MacBook Pro with the M4, it's more than likely that the MacBook Air of both models, the battery life is going to increase by at least 1 hour on each model, and this is going to be really, really fantastic to actually have in 2025. Now the next device what we're going to get is finally an upgrade to the AirTag. Now the AirTag was introduced back in 2021 and it had the U1 chip inside of it, and it's more than likely we're going to get the second generation of the AirTag coming out in the first half of 2025, because like I said, it's been about 4 years since we've had that upgrade, and it'll probably have the U2 chip inside it. The U2 chip is in the likes of, say, the latest generations of the Apple Watch. It's also in the latest generations of the iPhones, and this is definitely going to be coming along to the next generation of the AirTag 2. So this is probably going to be coming out in the same event where we're going to see probably the new MacBook and also the iPhone SE, if you're interested in getting yourself a new one of them. But then after this, focusing on home products, something else we could actually be getting is a new HomePod Mini. So this might be coming out. Probably the design's not going to change, but we get an update of a chip inside of this, and maybe this could connect to Apple Intelligence, and the same with Apple TV. We've been told that we're going to be getting an update to Apple TV because it's still got an A15 inside of it, the current generation. So more than likely this is going to be updated to the likes of, say, an A18 or even the A18 Pro inside of it. Maybe at last Apple are going to sort of go into that area of gaming, which is going to be really, really great to actually have on this device because the potential is definitely there. So this is going to be something really exciting to see that Apple are going to bring out. And then also we've heard that Apple are looking to bring out, say, a new kind of control center or control pad or HomePad, what is like saying an iPad that's on sort of a dock, and you'll be able to ask it questions, and you'll be able to set up things in your calendar and use Apple Intelligence to actually operate things like your HomeKit in your house, turn off your lights, answer your doorbell, things like this. And this is going to sort of advance that kit out even more. And we've even heard that Apple are potentially going to be bringing out some smart cameras as well, security cameras and things like this to come alongside that. So this is something that's got the potential to also come out before the summer of 2025. There's also something else what's great to hear, and that is the giveaway we're doing on this channel. It's going to also come out this half of 2025 for this Mac Mini that we have here with an M4 Pro inside of it. And I'm going to be giving this away to one lucky subscriber on this channel, and you can still enter into this giveaway right now. Like I said, it's the M4 Pro Mac Mini, 512 gigabytes of storage. It's also got 24 gigabytes of RAM. This is the baseline M4 Pro, so 12-core CPU. But like I said, you can enter into the giveaway right now on this channel, and all you have to do at this stage at the moment is just put down into the comments below of what technology gear that you're hoping to get in 2025. This can be Apple related, or it doesn't have to be. So maybe you're going to get yourself a brand new iPad, a new iPhone, or it could be that you're getting a new Nintendo Switch 2 or the PS5 Pro, for example, or something else altogether. Put it down into the comments below. Now, the other half of the giveaway is going to be happening near the end of March time, where I'll be bringing out a video giving you more details about the giveaway, including a form to fill in too. And you won't want to miss out on that video because I'll also be announcing when the live stream date is going to be, when we're going to give away this Mac Mini. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. And you'll want to be a subscriber too, because at the end of the day, I'm giving this away to a subscriber. The last thing I just want to quickly say to you guys is that sadly there are still scammers and spammers out there. People still impersonating me, telling to WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, direct message. Please do ignore these people. Best you can see right here. Please do report them. But moving on then, I want to talk about iPads in just a second, but there is one other category of products, or one product and an accessory that goes along with it that could be upgraded before the summer of 2025, or it could be actually upgraded in, say, WWDC 2025. It's kind of a 50-50 at the moment, and that is the Mac Studio. The Mac Studio at the moment has got an M2 Ultra and the M2 Max inside of it, and this is really behind now, especially on the M4 series. But the good news is that more than likely that this model is going to be updated to have the M4 Max and the M4 Ultra as a choice inside of it, and this is going to be fantastic news to actually have such a powerhouse of of a mini PC. And like I said, this is probably going to be, I'd say, in my opinion, more likely to be in June time at WWDC, but other reporters out there are more claiming it's going to be at springtime. But as you've seen already, we've got a lot of devices already on its way for springtime, and there's a few more I want to talk about in a second. So personally, I do think this is going to be pushed out a little bit further on. But what will also go alongside that is the new Studio display. Now, the Studio display came out with the original M1 Ultra and M1 Max, Mac Studio, and essentially the display in this is actually exactly the same as the old 27-inch iMac that we had from, say, 2014 to 2020. That sort of same sort of screen panel, exactly the same, 60Hz display, what's an LED Retina display, but it looks like finally we could be getting a mini LED display put inside of this at 120 Hz. What makes sense because the MacBook Pros, they've got mini LED, and then obviously they go up to 120 Hz too. And also, if you've been to shops and things like this, you'll have noticed that mini LED TVs, they are far less, in price than compared to, say, an OLED display. So this is probably definitely the way forward that Apple are probably thinking with upgrading this display. But like I said, I think this is going to be more targeted towards sort of June time, in my opinion, at WWDC, but you never know, you may get a surprise in March or April time with the announcement of these upgrades there. The last thing I want to talk about then is upgrades to the iPads, and this is one iPad I am really excited about, and that is the 11th generation iPad, what's going to probably have an A18 inside of it, not an A17 Pro. The main reason why I say an A18 inside of it is because the likes of USB-C at the bottom. The A17 Pro can control USB 3 ports at the bottom, or speeds of that, whereas the A18 can control USB 2 speeds. So I'm thinking because of this being sort of the more budget line sort of iPad out there, it's probably more likely to have the A18 inside it than the A17 Pro because of that controller for the USB-C. But the price for this one, what I would say is don't be surprised if this new generation, the 11th one, with an A18 comes out $450, like what the 10th generation iPad came out originally back in 2022. I personally think that Apple will sell the 10th generation and the 11th generation side by side, one for $450, one for $350. But obviously the good thing what you'll get with the A18 model is it'll get Apple Intelligence, and also, to be honest, I just made a video about this recently on my channel, that the A18 in single core performance is even faster than the M1, and is almost sort of comparable in multi-core performance to the M1 as well, what is going to be absolutely amazing to have in a device that could cost $350 or $450. The last device to be updated and probably coming out before summer 2025 is going to be the iPad Air, and that's going to have inside an upgrade to an M3 or an M4 inside of it. Now, personally, in my opinion, I think it's going to be the M3 because Apple don't normally like to have, say, their iPad Pro and their iPad Air neck and neck in performance at the same time. You normally are a generation or 2 generations behind in performance. So to upgrade to M3, it makes more sense. But don't expect any kind of new upgrades in the design with the iPad Air. We just got the 13-inch model just introduced last time, so I cannot see Apple ditching that design anytime soon. But one thing we have also been told is we're going to be getting a new Magic Keyboard for the iPad Air, but one of the big differences with this keyboard is that we'll have function keys added to it, and maybe the actual material might be made a bit more out of metal than kind of sort of the material we have right now with the current Magic Keyboard. But really, guys, those are all the new devices that we're expecting to see before the summer of 2025. Are you excited about any of these new Apple products? Are you going to be getting any of them? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.